Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that happened.
Yeah, you have to go out and come back in.
Ooh, interesting.
So, okay, let me clean up my wires since I got professional help now. I don't remember how I did it in the beginning. That wire doesn't count for anything.
Oh, Mr. E.
And I didn't disconnect anything, lab, when I did it.
Uh-huh.
So, all right. So this is the 5-6 out. But
Okay.
here's what all of my, and I don't know how I did it last time because they all have this little, what do you call that? The little 3/8.
Okay, yeah, the little quarter inch jack or 3/8 inch jack, 1/8. Excuse me.
Yeah. So my 5-6, what are they? So line 3, 4, and 5-6, they both have that. And then this guy here, I got sweat in my eyes. See, I told you I worked up a sweat.
Yeah, you did.
Well, I had to go find it in the garage. So the FX Send is a USB. So I already got that little puppy in back here. That's the guy with the blue light.
Right.
But I only have, for these guys, the line outs or whatever the hell they are, the line ins. I only have the one earphone jack on here.
Interesting.
On my thing.
Right.
And this is, I didn't change anything, and I've got the mics in the garage with the mic holder goober. So, and then this guy here, which is my main out. Let's see. Oop. So damn it, taps. So this is my main out.
Okay. And that's the big jacks. Okay, there we go. So the main out going into your computer in that configuration should be in the mic input, so that everything coming out of that soundboard is going into the microphone input of the computer.
See, and that's what I was just looking. I just have, where's it at? I just have a headset input. All the rest are all
You're on a
USB.
Mac. Okay, so on the Mac, that would be a TRR. Well, no, crap, because it just says headphone. It don't say.
Yeah, so it's not a, and this is not, this is just a TRR, not a T, or a TRS, not a TRRS.
Right. You can
And
try
none of,
TRRS and see if the Mac will recognize it.
so that is, so this little guy here, which is my phones, that's, whoops, where'd it go? Flip already. This guy here, that's what I plug my Bose headphones into.
Right.
So, and these are all, I believe, yeah, see, they're all the same. They're all just, what is it, TRR or TRS?
Well, the
When it's just the two.
TRS, the way I identify them, TRS has the 2 black lines on it, and the TRRS has 3 black lines on it.
I'm frozen. But yeah, they all have just the 2 black lines on them. So I don't know how I got it to work before.
You didn't know. That is a very good question.
Unless somewhere I do in my garage have a converter for the out, the main out.
Right. That would be my guess, is that you've got a TRRS floating around somewhere that you ended up using.
But then the other 2, the lines 3 and 4, do I not have to worry about them? I swear they were connected to the computer at one time.
You shouldn't have to worry about them unless you're putting the input into the board, like for music or this, that, or the other.
No. I might have used one for my iPad, but I'm not getting that advanced this time.
Right.
So, but yeah, I noticed from the computer, Pablo, if you're still here, the sound using my AirPods, my audio is not as good as if I just use the mic on the audio, on the iMac.
Ooh, interesting.
So if you go listen to, I think, not the last video because I did that on the phone using the AirPod, and I only have one in right now. When I'm on the computer, I use them both. The sound isn't as good.
Right.
So
Yeah. I think I'm with Redhead on this one, being the Mac with just that showing headphone jack. You may have to YouTube it and see if that one will accept the TRRS.
I think it does. Now that you mention that, I'm going to have to go back out into the garage and get sweaty again. Thank you very much. And get that. Red, there's actually one, and if you watch it, and I'll send you the link to it, it's much easier to connect, but I didn't want to spend a lot of money till I was sure I was getting into this when I first bought this. And then I just got lazy because I had it set up and it worked. And so I was like, I ain't fucking with, I ain't taking nothing apart because I'll mess it all up. And then when I moved, I left everything connected because I'm like, okay, this is everything I need to connect to the Mac.
Right.
So I wasn't about to mess it all up. But there is an easier one to connect. And I have it saved in my favorites on whatever that thing is on Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
And the price fluctuates so much because it's hard to get anymore. And it's specifically made to connect to the Macs.
Okay. Gotcha.
But it also does work with Windows. So I just have a little cheap, like $39 mixer.
Yeah. I had one similar to that a long time ago before I went to the Rodecaster Pro.
Yeah, well, not everybody's a millionaire like you.
Yeah, this one is a little on the expensive side.
So, but if I want to do more from the computer because I like the studio,
yes,
then I might as well just set it all back up.
Right. Yeah, I love the studio on here. It is fantastic.
So we were playing around with it a little bit yesterday, and then we got some guy to join who was talking to Mandy and I on Twitch from Twitch after Red left when we were playing around in the studio last night. And he came on this morning, and when I was talking about that new facism thing that ABC7 here is promoting, I'm like, Jesus Christ, do we need another ism in this country?
No, we don't need any more isms. We got enough isms.
And at the end of the chat, he told me he was the guy that we were talking to yesterday that had come into the thing from Stitch.
Ah, nice.
Or Twitch, whatever the hell it's called. Twitch. Yeah. So he had come over, but I love this little thing. This was for a tablet.
Mm-hmm.
It was $11. It goes up and down, and the head's a 360 head.
Oh, nice.
It was $11. So I just took a phone holder from another tripod and put it on there, and that's what I do in the kitchen. And I want to try and set up, and I'll ask them tomorrow to be sure. You know how to set up ManyCam?
I was wondering about that. I almost downloaded it earlier. I hadn't got to it yet because I'm thinking the RTMP would have to be in the ManyCam, but I'm not for sure about that.
All right, I'll ask them tomorrow because I'm going to be talking with them at 10:30.
Right.
Because while it's on sale for the lifetime warrant or the lifetime for $129.
Right.
And it gives you 4 devices. And so I'm assuming when it says 4 devices, it means I can have it on my iPad, my iPhone, my computer, whatnot, and then like 42 camera options.
Right. Yeah, that's wicked.
So if that's the case, then I'll have a whole little studio set up within my dirty little home right now because I'm doing my prep cooking for the week.
Nice.
But yeah, I want to, just because there's so much, like we were talking to Andy yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And do you know who Freight Broker is? His name's Steve. I think he's out of Portland or Seattle.
Doesn't sound familiar.
He's on Facebook. So he was literally a freight broker.
Mm-hmm.
And during the upheaval last summer, he was just going along and gathering like YouTube live feeds that he was restreaming the Facebook of all the stuff going on, and he's built himself a complete business now.
Nice.
And he does a morning news show, he does an afternoon news show. He's got billboards all over the Pacific Northwest,
Wow.
in
That's
support of the
awesome.
cops and everything. And I'm like, I was telling Angie, and then he told me this was what you were originally trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
Like a group of us, trusted, no schmarmy people,
Right.
get together, pick a name, get the YouTube and the, what do you call it? And everybody could host their hour or whatever. And then in the case of like upheavals or whatever, you could have boots on the ground and they're coming directly into your broadcast and they're talking live in your broadcast like a real news station.
Yeah. Yeah. See, I was doing that last year through Switcher Studio, and my press affiliation is what's going to pop on the screen here. That's the USPA. So I had access to journalists all over the world, but running Switcher Studio, it was anybody with an iPhone, and I could have up to 27 people at a time on the iPhone.
Yeah, see, I looked into doing that like years, before mom was even diagnosed, so pre 2016, and then mom got diagnosed, and I just got waylaid with that, and then I never really followed through on it after she passed because I was busy moving and remodeling.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you want to see the condition of my office, like I'm still not all moved in and unpacked.
Right.
And then last night I had to take, that was actually painted by Cheetah from Tarzan. I had to take that off the wall to put my
ring light
up there.
Uh-huh.
Rebel. Well, my Walmart didn't have your light that you got yesterday. But I thought, how cool would it be if we get some trusted people? Because Mandy Lee and I already do the court cases.
Right.
And then this morning I saw that goofy Facism bullshit from ABC7, and it reminded me I wanted to do a video on it. So I did that this morning. I'm like, there's so much that we could do.
Mm-hmm.
That the thing is would HAPS allow us to have a second account that has multiple users.
Right. That'd be interesting. That'd be good to do.
Because you would have, everybody would be basically a producer, so you would produce your own show. Yeah. And then in the case of like me with the fires, I could go up to the fires. I got my press pass.
Mm-hmm.
And make our own little news outlet.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing I like about this, this is a new high-powered computer, so I haven't put my Streamlabs on here. But with Streamlabs, I was connecting in through people, but I had the news ticker at the bottom of the screen as well. And with this, you can just connect the camera and everything there, but then share it back over here. So it's an even more optional setup, which is really cool.
Yeah, see, so when I looked at ManyCam, it looks like they have like the automatic green screen where you don't need one behind you.
Right.
But I put up that's my wall green screen, the curtain on the wall, and then I have the one the portable one I bought. I'm trying to remember my password for my own computer. And I thought, well, so I have that behind me when I broadcast in here, so you don't have to see my nasty living room.
Right.
Really just so people aren't in it. So when I was looking at ManyCam, so it's 3 devices, $129 for lifetime, 3 devices, 24 video sources, 4K quality, unlimited number of effects, whiteboard, picture-in-picture, desktop capture, lower third, snapshot, custom watermarks, video recording, mobile app included. I don't know what NDI support is. No watermark, unlimited RTMP streams, H.264 IP camera, virtual backgrounds, background blur, chroma key, and priority support.
Nice. It's got a lot of features to it. I like it.
So stream to multiple platforms at the same time, Facebook, YouTube, more. So you have to, I think, get the RTMP from, in this case, HAPS, because really you wouldn't need it for anything else, because the HAPS the comments from the other platforms come across on HAPS.
Right.
And they just can't see your comments back. We figured out last night. But you just really need that one RTMP stream. And if you can have unlimited, we could all get our RTMP and plug it in there, and then it would go live on everybody's page at the same time.
Yeah, it would.
So was that your notification?
Yeah, that was me.
I was going to say, because I've never heard that before. What the hell is my phone doing? And I've been messing with shit. So I thought, well, now that I see that, like, hell, we don't even have to name it. We don't even have to go get a separate one. Just one of us buys it. You're only allowed, well, if we all bought it, because you're only allowed 4 devices. So we would all have to buy it. But then we all just share our RTMP feed with one another.
Sure.
And then if someone becomes a dick, you just kick them out of the RTMP feed.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So I go back to work on Wednesday. So this is my 4-day week.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm talking to them tomorrow. So I'll find out if we can get RTMP from them for ManyCam. And if we can, then on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, so starting Sunday, we could work on it and get it all up and running, and then see how it works, because it would be no different than right now. This is going to show up on my feed from the minute I jumped into your live.
Right.
So it's no different than you guys doing your radio. It just gives you access to my followers and my people. That my 3.6 comes mainly from my Twitter. So it gives you access to all them on my feed. And the other thing is we'd have to be sure that we weren't going, that someone didn't have a live, but you could all probably just temporarily disable that RTMP.
Right.
So if you see I have a live scheduled or I'm going live, we just have to be in contact and be like, all right, well, he's going live. So, and then when I went live, we'd have to go live directly through the app. So as not to, or I'd have to disable everybody else's RTMP as well.
Yeah.
But the possibilities are limitless, and I'm still amazed that, number one, we got an update this weekend and they didn't break anything.
Right.
Number two, the audio and video is so dang clear. So you have your desktop set to, and that's what I was trying to look at it, but when I change my camera, it doesn't change. But you have your desktop set to landscape, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I should really be holding it like this then. But what I see from the audience view, even though I'm in portrait because I'm on the phone, it still looks good.
Right. Well, let's see.
And once you go live, you can't change the orientation in the studio.
Right, in the studio itself, correct. Now you can change your orientation, but not in the studio.
Right. So, but I think it's, yeah, I know YouTube will tell us everything, but I might break down and invest in that updated mixer. Because I wouldn't mind buying a mixer that has a soundboard included. I used to have a soundboard on my old iPad, but I didn't put it on this new iPad because I stopped doing all the media and reality TV stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And they just renewed my press pass. I just got it in the mail. And it expires valid through year 12 through 31, 12/31/31.
Nice.
I'll be dead in 10 years. So, yeah, I mean, we could literally And then, you know what else we could do? Sell sponsorships to the people who that are part of the network marketing stuff.
Yes.
Let them buy commercials.
Yep. Absolutely.
So I'll talk to them tomorrow, and then, like I said, I go back to work on Wednesday. So we're just having a quick chat tomorrow. So I'll find out from them tomorrow, and then I'll hit you up. And then, because I know Andy's interested, I'm sure Laird and Rianne are interested.
Probably, yeah.
I'm sure Red's interested. But Red has an issue with her camera, so she's looking for a, what do you call it? A new camera for her. I think she's got an HP.
Mm-hmm.
And I just looked at their town hall today, or whatever they call it, their Manic Monday, and they said, like, just a cheap little $49 camera will work just as well. So
Right.
I told Red to look into like a Logitech camera.
Yeah. Yeah, Logitech's pretty damn good.
So, have you ever seen yellow or gold, sun gold kiwis? I've never seen kiwi this color.
I have not either.
I found them at Costco today, and I never knew you could eat kiwi out of the skin with a spoon. I thought the spoon would go through the skin, but it doesn't.
Oh, wow. See, I just learned something new.
I was today years old when I found out about this. And then Rianne came in and she's like, yeah, I eat the green ones the same way. My green ones aren't as ripe, though.
Right.
But yeah, if we could get this is why I wanted to keep it quiet, but it didn't quite work out that way.
Mm-hmm.
To get the people over here who are serious about it and not trolling,
Right.
is to get it set up and then release it. Because in my experience with beta apps and whatnot, and Nikki Birch usually jumps in here when I'm on. She's from my Blab days. Clapper is not long for this world.
Yeah. I pretty much see it the same way.
So, and I was in that beta test, and when he said about the problem with iOS audio, with the scratchy audio, the crackling audio,
Mm-hmm.
when he said, give us time, it'll be 2 to 4 weeks before it's fixed, I was like, stop trying to bring in new features and fix the shit you break.
Yes. Completely.
And that has been since the day I joined. Every time they do an app update, they break something.
Mm-hmm. Every time.
But they don't worry about fixing it. So I was like, you clearly invited people in who have never beta tested an app. That's number
Right.
one. And it turned into a bitch fest, and I was getting ready to leave real early in the beginning.
Mm-hmm. Don't blame
So
me.
me freezing, I don't know if it's their server because it says I got great thing, but my video freezes a lot.
Yeah,
So
I've
I don't know
noticed
if it's
that. It does skip and freeze a little bit.
But the audio is not affected.
Right. Yeah, the audio is perfect.
So I can deal with the little freezing. But I don't know if that's their end or if it's my end, but it says I have great connectivity. But if you look around, I don't know, have you seen Information Man, any of his videos?
Not yet.
He does kind of a news thing. And you'll see why I'm holding my tongue when you watch. And I'd be interested to see if you kind of have the same kind of thought process when you watch it.
Right.
And that would have to be a text message. That can't be a public message. But all right, I'm gonna go finish cooking.
All right.
We got chicken and turkey to make, and then I'm gonna try and come up and do something from the news a little later this afternoon.
Sounds good.
So I like that drone footage, but we're not allowed to use drones in California. Do you guys have you have to be licensed to fly a drone in Nevada?
So the way the FAA has done it is recreationally, your license from the FAA is $15, which means you have zero intent on making money on that footage. But the way they set it up, if you even upload to YouTube and make one single penny,
You're now commercial.
You're now commercial. So you got to have the commercial license.
Of course you do.
Yeah.
This government wants their money. That's like a friend of mine called me this morning. He's been on unemployment this whole time. And he just went back to work.
Right.
And he's like, what do I do? They screwed with his unemployment so bad in the beginning. Like, he's got like probably 8 months worth of unemployment that they owe him.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, yeah, you do sign it under not penalty of perjury, but you do certify that what you're saying is true and correct. But they owe you money going back to March of. Hey, Ben. This is Ben I was talking about earlier, Lacey. This is the guy who came on through Twitch.
Oh, nice.
And I'm like, they owe you like 8 months from 2020 where they screwed with you and didn't give you your back pay. I don't see if they took you to court and tried to I don't see anybody, any American citizen saying, oh, you did commit fraud. It's money you were entitled to that they didn't pay you while you were working. Right. Or while you were not working. And he's only back to work for like $300 a week. They're not even bringing him back full time. I'm like, you're still underemployed.
Yeah.
So,
and under the pandemic guidelines, he's entitled to receive pay.
Right. But California now is doing away with it. Oh, you lighten up. I haven't had a cigarette since 9 o'clock Friday morning.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about it.
Motherfucker.
I forgot about it.
I bought this Epic. It's salt nicotine.
Salt nicotine?
Never heard of it until I bought it.
Me neither.
It's a little rough on the throat when you first start, but it cures. One puff cures the nicotine. No, nice. Ben, I told him what kind of switch hitter you were, and what did Mandy say you were? Oh, Mandy said you was a tranny. Mandy kept referring to him. His name was Laney over on Twitch, and Mandy kept calling him a female. And he's like, just for the record, I'm a guy.
Nice.
So, but the So Ben, I'm just gonna start calling you Blaine because didn't have my glasses on when you first commented. So Ben, Lab here does he's KLAB Radio out of Las Vegas, and he does a show with Laird, who's KLAI Radio out of Texas.
Yep.
Is it Texas?
Yep, it's Texas.
And then Rianne, they do the Masticators, or is it Masturbators? Masticators. They do a Masticators radio show. And then are you and Andy still doing your thing?
No, he was doing Radio Wars, but then he got tied up, couldn't do them. And that is where Laird come in, and we switched it to Dual DJ Live. But Andy and I were talking this morning. We may end up doing some kind of news thing like what you're talking about. He's interested in getting involved.
Well, that bastard ran right to you after I talked to him for like an hour about it last night. I'm going to cut his nuts off.
Yeah, he told me you were interested in doing it. And I'm like, oh, cool.
Mandy is, because she really liked doing the court stuff. And, she's a paralegal by education.
Right.
And Lee, Proud Loyal American, who's now LeeTube over here, he wants to get back into the, what do you call it? Ben Lane just to subscribe to you.
Oh, thank you, Ben. I appreciate it.
And he wants to get back into doing the court stuff and other news stuff. And so as I was playing in the studio, I'm like, oh, do you know what kind of possibility we have? And if we could get a good group of core people.
Oh, yeah.
as the beginning and set up some structure,
Mm-hmm.
and then we could bring other people in, but they wouldn't be the core group.
Right.
And I think we could. Let me move this over here because I got to do some dishes. I think we could do. I think we could make a go of this. The power, we will have power. It's not even about having power. So, Ben, we actually, Mandy, and basically everybody you see in my lives, we all come from an app that you heard us talk about yesterday, where it's been nothing but drama and bullshit among people, like people trying to dox people. It's just been kind of bullshit. And Ben, this is the second time you've been on one of my lives where you've caught me cleaning stuff, doing dishes. But yeah, so, and then when Mandy and Red and I were playing, Mandy's like, she called me after we got done and she said, "Do you think?" And I'm like, "Yes, I do." And then I talked to Andy when I was just kind of playing around.
Right.
And he's like, "Well, yeah." And then he said, "Like, that's what Lab was trying to do before, but I'll let him talk to you about it." And I'm just like, as long as, like, my whole thing with keeping it quiet was also because I was involved in a lot of I was the target of a lot of the drama, and people just blindly believed it.
Right.
I was like, my whole part of that was letting people get over here and see that this didn't start until XYZ.
Right.
And you have never seen me come after anyone off the fly. It's always been in response to what someone has done to me.
Correct.
Especially when Nutjob started calling the local police departments trying to figure out where I worked.
Yep.
That's how I got her real name and phone number.
Mm-hmm.
And I never did anything with it. So I am like, look, as long as we can, if we would have all kept it quiet, came over here quietly, did our little thing, we could make a serious dent and have a great platform, and then start inviting people over, and then you'll see who the real troublemakers are. And I see a couple of them have already made their way over here.
Uh-huh.
From people who have put out their the videos about it on the clap. And my whole thing right now is with your particular situation that someone sent me your video. I'm like, someone, I know who is involved in that because you mentioned two names, and that other person who was allegedly cleared in the Rihanna thing. That is, she's been involved since the Magic days, and her name always pops up.
Uh-huh.
And I'm sorry, but if you said to me, "Hey, Brophy, don't say anything," and then a third party starts talking to the party you were talking to me about and fills them in or calls them out or whatever on a live on another platform, I've clearly opened my mouth.
Uh-huh.
So
Agreed.
why the fuck aren't you why are you giving this person a pass? Because they've been involved in this shit since the Magic days.
Right.
And it's funny because they've conveniently already blocked me over here, but they cry on Clapper that I blocked them.
Wow.
So,
wow.
I'm like, see, if we could have kept this quiet from the beginning and just worked on it for a couple months, maybe even just 2 months, we could have had a great platform going. Not that we won't have a great platform going, but some of them who love the drama, even though they say they don't, they'll find a way to make it drama filled.
Oh, absolutely. They'll attempt it. They'll attempt it, no doubt. But we'll squash them.
So, the good thing here, and that's what I said in my 1 week on HAPS video yesterday, is according to other users here, is they're very quick to shut that shit down. So we've heard that before from somebody, from another app.
Yep.
But I can only go on their word. And so far, these guys have been very responsive.
That's good. What's up, Lee? Thank you for joining in.
Oh, Lord, now I can't talk shit about them anymore. So, Lee, what I was showing you in lab, I don't know if you know this. So, if you go into your settings and drop down to. Frick, what do you drop down to? You have to turn on to be able to get the sponsors.
Oh, yeah. I caught that one.
I didn't catch that one, and Lee and I were talking about it the other day. And I saw it today on Rebels, and I'm like, Rebel, where'd you get that at? And she's like, well, I went to this, and I did this, and she didn't know where she went. She's like, I hit it somewhere in the edit. So I turned it on. So that's how we got to turn it on, Lee. Go to your settings where it says notification, drop down, and it's in one of the monetize sections. And then we may have a little news station we're putting together.
And that will be awesome.
And if we can get some good quality people in there, I think it would be great.
Absolutely.
And I was asked about someone coming over here, and I'm like, they said they weren't interested.
Huh.
And I don't beg.
Right. Yeah, no, definitely not.
So, no, we were just talking about Mandy and you and me bringing back the court cases and doing some other news. And we use the labs probably use the studio more than I have, but that studio gives us way more capabilities than any other platform could ever dream of giving us.
Oh,
and so
God.
my mind started rolling when I was talking to Andy yesterday. And Andy was kind of on the same page, and he said that lab had been doing it like the year before COVID or whatever, before he came to whatever. And I'm like, well, let's get it going.
Mm-hmm.
So I pulled out my what I pull out? My mixer. But my mixer doesn't work that way. Wait, how do you have another screen up?
Okay, so what you do is
you're doing the share thing from the side.
Yeah, you hit presenting, and you have the option. Hang on, let me. I'll stop this one just so I can do it again. Presenting. And say exactly what it is.
Is that out of the right hand side list where you upload the stuff?
No, on the bottom of your computer screen, it'll say mic, camera, and present.
Right. Oh yeah, the present lets you bring in from the what do you call it? Yeah, bring in from like YouTube or whatever.
Right. You can do entire screen, a window, or a Chrome tab. And I'll specifically do a tab. And the reason is I can have multiple tabs sitting and ready to go. But of course, it's interactive as you scroll through it. So
right,
the viewer sees what you see. But if I open another tab like I just did, you don't notice that. It's still where it was.
Right. But the YouTube video, Lee, I don't know where I got this at. I don't, but if you search it, you'll find it. I think I got it on sale for like $13. But I don't remember which of the many companies I got it from. So I can't tell you where to get it. This might become just my news attire. I might only... Is it? Yes, it is actually a grunt style. There you go. See?
Oh, there we go.
I might just only wear this when we're doing a news show, so I can offend the snowflakes.
That'd be good.
Who gave me a Betty Crocker plastic dish? I don't have no Betty Crocker in my house. What did I do with my other bowl? So there's many things in the works, Mr. Lee.
Yes.
And if we can get all the right people on the bottom of the platform before we start it up, and then we could invite others as we go, and we just have to figure out the ManyCam thing.
Yep.
And I should have an answer. Like I said, I'm talking to them at 10:30 tomorrow morning. We should have that answer pretty quick. Of the 7 Vine, what's the 7 Vine, Ben? That's got to be across the pond thing.
Yeah.
Because I guarantee you, none of us ignorant U.S. people have ever heard of the 7 Vine. So
Go.
fill us in, Ben. Nope. Nope. What, Lee?
Oh, he's not going to fill us in. Oh, that's just wrong.
That's Lee saying that Ben ain't going to fill us in. But Ben is my friend, not yours, Lee. So fuck off. It doesn't smell too bad. I bought this. Saw this at Costco. It's all non-GMO, and it's just salt, pepper, and garlic, and
Nice.
it's rehydrated garlic.
Nice. I love garlic.
Basically, the film 7, when he's like, "What's in the box?" He goes, "Frosted Flakes." Nigga, damn.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to go back and review that.
Afternoon, Hunter.
Wait, Hunter just popped in?
Yeah, Hunter Narrington. Yeah, he just popped in.
Hunter is when we came over here the other day. So I just might have a little. I might have a spice. See, I hate this little camera. It doesn't flip right away. I might have a little spice addiction.
Oh, yeah. Slightly.
Oh, we did have Vine the app.
Yeah.
And then it went away like everything else
Mm-hmm. Pretty much.
tends to do. I know, Lee. I'm like deciding I might have to make the pantry the spice cabinet because I'm running out of room over here.
Right.
So I took some, that was a good interruption. You know the file things you put on your desk to hold the files? Well, I put them in my cabinet next to the thing, and I have all my flat pans for like my cookie sheets and my air fryer. I have them all in there sitting straight up.
That's a good idea.
Make more room.
That.
But I lost a little shelf height. But I'm going to get another one.
Right.
Come on, flip.
Totally.
See?
That is awesome. That is a great way to organize them. I never thought of that.
So when I was going out and digging the thing out of the garage, the mixer, I saw that in one of the boxes, and I'm like, you know what? I wonder if I could do this.
Right.
And I just did it.
That's awesome.
All right, what time is it? 1:23.
Mm-hmm.
The Filofax deal for our spices will take Filofax.
Filofax. Never heard of that one.
I've never heard of that one. But see, I did these little things, and I have like 2 more of them left.
Mm-hmm. Oh, nice.
But I still don't have enough room because the big bottles don't fit.
Right.
So, all right, I'm gonna leave you live. Well, I'm gonna
All
go
right,
down,
buddy.
Can I kick myself down to the bottom, or do you have to kick me down to the bottom?
I don't know. Try it and see. I think you can kick yourself.
Well, if I hit leave brush.
Yep, there you went.